Has a character ever surprised you? Maybe you thought they were one way, but they turned out to be something completely different. Can you tell us about this experience? So yes, and actually that's the setup for me to read something from the book. The main characters have switched bodies. One is from here on Earth and one is in space, on the planet Paselner, and they switched bodies. And there came a point in the book that, well, everybody wasn't so happy with what occurred, and it got really out of hand, and I had to intervene as the author. Yeah, I had to do it. Hi, I bet you're wondering who I am and what I'm doing here interrupting the story and all, but I think it's appropriate for me to make an appearance right about now. Oh, you didn't think so? Well, this is really embarrassing. I didn't expect that. I was expecting cheers, applause, praise. But if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. So in that case, I guess you could skip the next few pages or maybe more. Not really sure at this point. I guess you could pretend this never happened, which would be a really great psychological task indeed. However, I really think it's in everyone's best interest to stick around for a few more pages, just so I can explain myself. What you're about to read, if you read it, is pretty, well, important. Good choice. Welcome to something important. So let's get right down to business. First of all, thank you for believing me. Next, I'll answer what you're probably wondering. I mean, what I bet you would wonder at the beginning of the chapter to kind of coax you along. Well, anyway, myself, I am the creator, the author, if you will. So don't be alarmed. This tale hasn't been taken over by aliens, nor terrorists, nor even an obscure virus forcing everyone into lockdown. Nope, and you don't have to eat any bizarre food, solve a really hard riddle, or have lunch with someone you'd rather not. Now, what am I doing here? Well, that's simple. I was sitting back, having a sandwich, watching my characters struggle to understand what just happened to them. You know, the transfer of Serbinand into Jim and vice versa. Why did I do it? I sometimes wonder. And that is a story that is completely different and will likely be revealed in the sequel to the book, or the sequel to that, oh, sorry, I digress. Where was I? All right, let me get back to the story at hand. Very simply, Serbinand and Jim aren't having much luck. I've had the opportunity to watch them for some time, and sometimes I just shake my head. Gottfried now thinks Serbinand, who we all know is Jim, is desperately trying to get even with him once and for all his practical jokes, no matter what amount of pain he must go through in the process. Meanwhile, the real Serbinand, the one in Jim's body, seems quite content, despite feeling the effects of gravity with no real warning sign. Orville, on the other hand, plainly believes his best friend has gone utterly insane. Who can blame him? It's not every day the transference of souls happens. Jim seems to be in the most distress. While relieved he's no longer home, it may not be worth all the bouts of pain and extreme suffering. Now, I know this does not really explain why I halted everything to make an appearance right now. Perhaps you already wish I would just carry on narrating the story and let you find out what's happening naturally, without me here to spoil it for you. Well, no. You've already come this far. Plus, I am the author, so I guess I can do as I please. Oh, oops, sorry. That was a little bit of Gottfried's new personality coming out. I'm sorry for that. Okay, let's just be real. Since you've already started reading this adventure, I'm sure you don't want to close the book and pretend that everything you read didn't exist. So just hold on, grab a protein bar, a sandwich, or something you like, and listen to what I have to say. And for those who are no longer interested, you of course can skip this entire chapter and resume the journey where it left off. But I'm sure you'll miss something really important. Perhaps. Anyways, back to why I so rudely interrupted the fable. Not to say that this isn't real. It's just that fable sounds more intriguing than story. Although I thought it would be neat to make Serbinand and Jim switch bodies, which I guess is why I unconsciously created them, I hadn't really contemplated what would happen once this took place, or how they would adjust to their new circumstances. To put it plainly, I'm left in a rather tight and strange, precarious situation. Actually, I'm not, my characters are. So what I decided to do was invite them all back to my house, so I can sit down with them for a while and figure this all out. Of course, I do realize there might be a great deal of hostility, confusion, and yes, even frustration. But what has to be done has to be done, right? Oh, I almost forgot. You're all invited to come along too. So I'll end there, leaving the information that it did get crazy, and the next chapter is actually called Characters Without an Author. So I'll leave that to your own imagination.